What is up, everyone? 2 minutes in the box with Gordo. Monday, March 3rd, 2025. Today, we've got a lot of hockey to talk about. Trade deadline, rumors, latest ones. And one of the big fish is already gone down to South Beach. And we're previewing tonight's matchups and recapping over the weekend. All right, first off, let's talk about the Florida Panthers splash on the trade market. They're going for it. They traded their first round pick from 2019, Spencer Knight, fan favorite. It's sad to see. And I saw him walking down the tunnel, middle of the second period. Somebody notified him, said he just got traded. And I did not know he was traded. He just walked down the tunnel and then we found out he was traded for Seth Jones. And so basically the trade package was Seth Jones and his 75% of his salary and a fourth round pick to the Florida Panthers and Spencer Knight going to the Blackhawks along with a first round pick and 25% salary retained. Very interesting indeed. And I'll tell you, the Florida Panthers, they are very serious buyers right now. And it's going to come to show that they are not messing around. They are ready to win another Stanley Cup and a third consecutive into the Cup Finals. And that's unbelievable. And I mean, it's a love and hate type of thing, I know it's a business, it's cutthroat, but damn, man. I mean, the Florida Panthers, they had something in Spencer Knight. He had his moments. He had a bright future ahead of him, but it just seemed that Chicago was going to take care of him and see if he can be that future goalie. But I'll tell you, I'm very scared about this one because I just hope that this doesn't bite the Florida Panthers, in the long run. Spencer Knight, it was supposed to be the next Carey Price, high expectations, but let's just say, good luck to him. Good luck to Spencer Knight into the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, it was a shocker. He was like the last guy to be traded on my trade block, but wow, just wow. And Matthew Tkachuk being on the LTIR, and I expect the Florida Panthers to get a backup goalie and to get some secondary scoring and a secondary pest. I mean, Matthews out for the rest of the season. They got to get something done. And the Florida Panthers, they are ready to get another Stanley Cup. It's a sacrifice and consequence right here. It's a sacrifice and consequence. All right, let's get to the games that we were talking about yesterday. Heck of a game for the Maple Leafs and Penguins. Matthew Knies buzzer beater in the middle in the first at the end of the first period. 6-5 OT win. I'll say this: the Maple Leafs are 1 point ahead of the Florida Panthers. They are ahead of them 1 point again. And I'll say, Max Domi, he struggled. What a bad signing he turned out to be. I mean, 4 goals only this season. He's got to pick up the slack. I would not be surprised that he's going to be dealt with in the offseason or he's going to get another chance. So they would buy him out halfway through the contract. Yeah. So, yeah, heck of a game in the Minnesota Wild shutout. And I tell you, they better keep those green and gold jerseys because they look beautiful on them, and the Minnesota Wild should keep the Minnesota North Star colors permanently. And the Bruins, though, they are struggling and they got to get back into that wild card chase. But now, Carolina Hurricanes, though, 2-1 victory in overtime against the Calgary Flames. And Carolina is leapfrogged the New Jersey Devils. The New Jersey Devils, they are going to be struggling. They just lost Jack Hughes. It's going to be a very tough road. I mean, you just got Markstrom back, but you just lose a goal scorer, your top guy. And New Jersey on the other side of things, it's not good for them. Carolina, though, they are perennial favorites to be second place in the Metropolitan. And at least Calgary got that 1 point so that they could be in that wild card spot. And now we go over to St. Louis and Dallas. No surprise here. Dallas dominates St. Louis 6-3. What a game for White Johnson. Hat trick on his birthday. Just a wonderful game for him. And Matt Duchene, defying all odds of age, he's got 25. He's got to be projected to get 30 something at the end of the year. What a game for Matt Duchene. And the New York Rangers 4-0 victory over the Nashville Predators. And Calvin DeHaan making a immediate impact for the Rangers. Gets an assist, and that's why I did it. DJ Carp lad's gonna be bouncing in the club. The beat's gonna go on and on and on. And oh yeah, what a game for the New York Rangers. Quick was unbelievable. He's gonna be their number one for the rest of the season. And Shesterkin, he is struggling right now. He is struggling right now. And listen, money can't buy happiness on that one. Let's go over to Vegas and the New Jersey Devils, the Vegas Golden Knights. What a game for Vegas, 2-0 victory. Jack Eichel, 53 assists this season. I mean, wow. I got a feeling he's going to get 70 at this point. And as I said before, the New Jersey Devils, they are in trouble. They are definitely in trouble. And we go over to tonight's matchups. We've got some fun matchups right here. We got 6 games on the dock. So we've got the two nations capitals against each other, the Ottawa Senators and the Washington Capitals. And Ovi Watch, he did score on Saturday against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are on a roll. So Ovechkin, 11 away of breaking Gretzky's all-time record. And Ovi, so far this season, 31 goals. He is unbelievable. He's a fire. He's a firework. I would love to see Ovi get another one. And you playing against Brady Tkachuk, he just came off the IR, and that matchup's going to be a fun one to watch. You better keep an eye on that one. Then you got the divisional matchup between the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. Cole Caulfield and Tage Thompson, two American beauties. 28 goals for Tage Thompson, 29 for Cole Caulfield. This matchup is an even minus 110. I gotta say, it's down the line, all or nothing at this point. They gotta make sure anyone gets above the standings, gets some couple valuable points. And then this is gonna be the best matchup tonight. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers, the Sunshine State Battle. This is gonna be epic because it's Seth Jones' first game as a Florida Panther, and you got the Tampa Bay Lightning rolling in hot, and Vasilevsky, he's not playing games. The Lightning and the Florida Panthers, that is going to be a do or die right now. And right here, two valuable points right there. The Lightning, they can catch up to the Florida Panthers, get but 1 point behind them as a second place spot, and the Florida Panthers get that victory. They reclaim the lead in the Atlantic Division. And then now you got the New York Islanders, New York Rangers battle, and this is going to be a fun matchup right here. The Battle of the Big Apple in Long Island. And I got to say, this is one of my other favorite matchups. This is going to be another circle on the dock. I would say this one, you better keep an eye on this one. I'm going I got a feeling that it's going to be a close battle. And then you've got San Jose Sharks with Michael Celebrini against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, the Leafs are heavy favorites for this one. And Toronto, if they win tonight, they add another 2 points and a possible 3 point lead or another 1 point lead on who's going to be winning that Atlantic Division. It's going to come down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. I got to say, this matchup here for Toronto and San Jose. Toronto, they are the OGs. All right. They are in the mix to get a deep, deep playoff run. And Toronto, win tonight, you extend the lead. But Florida's creeping 1 point behind. If Florida loses, you get 3 points up ahead. And now you've got LA and Chicago. Chicago is in Chicago. LA's in Chicago. So, yeah, I am going to say this matchup right here. LA, they're maintaining that third place position for the Pacific Division. It's been a on and off go this year, and I'm going to say this one. And Chicago, I tell you, Connor Bedard is struggling. I mean, he's got 33 assists so far this year. This season alone for him, it's been a sophomore slump. The Blackhawks are struggling. They need prospects. They need to get their team back up and running. And we're going to the standings right now. So I'd say this, Toronto's 1 point ahead. And if Tampa Bay wins, they are 76 points and 1 point behind the Florida Panthers. And Florida wins and Toronto loses, Florida reclaims the lead. Yeah, we're going to see a an exciting product right here. And then you got Columbus winning those two valuable wins and 4 points against the Detroit Red Wings on that home and home series. the Red Wings better get something going because, their window of opportunity for a playoff spot for the first time since 2016 is closing. And Ottawa and the Rangers and the Bruins and the Canadians are creeping on them. It's close. It's super close. And even in the Western Conference, Minnesota getting that valuable 2 points, and Colorado, they're creeping up for that third place spot. And Minnesota struggling with injury right now. And Minnesota has to find a way to keep that momentum at third or second place in the Central Division. And LA's 4 points behind the Oilers and eight behind Vegas. This right here is gonna be close. And then the final wild card spot, Vancouver and Calgary are tied. And I'll say this: St. Louis and Utah are super close of that final wild card spot. Yeah, we're seeing so much suspense right here. It's exciting, and that trade deadline's this Friday, and we're seeing some names that are still available in the trade block right now. You got Mika Rantanen. Mika Rantanen, I've been hearing that he might go to LA, stay, whoever, but if he goes to LA or Toronto or Chicago, wherever, that he can get that 8-year deal max. If he stays in Carolina, once the offseason begins, he's only going to get a 7-year deal on the open market July 1st. Then you got Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand, I mean, I was thinking about this for the last week. Could you imagine if the Florida Panthers get Brad Marchand just to F with the entire league and just to get another Stanley Cup? I mean, Brad Marchand, I don't want him to be traded. He is a one franchiser for his entire career. I think he should stay with the Bruins, but he wants to win right now. But he'll be playing after the deadline. So you got Eric Carlson. I gotta say he's got to stay. He's staying. I don't know if anybody would want that contract. It's a tough call. It's a tough call for him. I would personally like keep him, but if a team that needs a defenseman right now, it's got to be Dallas or whoever. Then you got Brock Besser. Listen, this guy's a goal scorer, and the term, the length. I mean, Vancouver wants to keep him, but I think Brock Besser is going to get a change of scenery, and I think he's going to explode. And he is going to be that goal scorer that he was a few seasons ago. I mean, 40 goals last year, and this season he's been struggling. And I would say do not trade Elias Pettersson, but Elias Pettersson, I don't know. I gotta say this. Too much money sometimes can make a player lack of less motivated. And yeah, I just don't think it's smart to trade Brock Besser yet. But Pettersson, eh, I would say trade him to a different market in the meanwhile. But then you got Dylan Cousins. I say keep him. I'm just afraid about the Buffalo Sabres backfiring again. And a lot of these trades are on Kevin Adams, though. Trading Jack Eichel, Ryan O'Reilly, and definitely trading Sam Reinhart. It really backfired. And it's a damn shame. They have a great hockey culture. They have a great they develop great players, but they still can't win the big one. And it's a damn shame too. I mean, with Bowen Byram too. I mean, Buffalo, don't trade Bowen Byram, Dylan Cousins, and Owen Power. Do not trade these guys. Don't. I would not trade your core because and Alex Stuck too. Don't trade these guys. I think it's a stupid idea and it will backfire, and it would send the Sabres back for more mediocre mediocrity down to hell. It's over if the Sabres screw it up. Don't trade these guys. And then you got Jordan Binnington. Man, if I were Detroit Red Wings and and my goaltending's been struggling lately, and the Edmonton Oilers, one of those two, including Carolina, those three, they need a goalie. They need a clutch goaltender, and he's on the books for another couple years. And he's a Stanley Cup winner, and he's a Four Nations winner, and he played like his old self. If I would say Detroit has to get a goalie right now. They need a goalie right now. Lyon and Talbot, those two aren't the answers long term. And I like what the Red Wings are doing with Kosa and Augustine. I gotta say, Jordan Bennington is going to be that number one goalie for the Red Wings. It will happen. All right, then you got Braden Shen of the Blues. He's the captain. Just got to 1,000 games recently. I'm intrigued about him playing for another team, but I mean, it's tough. It's tough to trade your captain away. 6.5 million for 3 more seasons. I gotta keep him. I would keep Braden Shen. And then figure it out in the offseason. Let's just see what happens with that. And same thing with Colton Parayko, another stud defenseman for the Blues. And he's a big boy, 6'6", and he's resigned 6.5 million to 29-30. And I think the Blues should keep that those two together. I wouldn't do anything yet. And Brock Nelson, though. Brocky Nelson, I gotta say, keep him. The Isles are gonna be trading. They're already in talks of Tony DeAngelo, Ryan Pulak, and Scotty Mayfield. I just think that it's not the best idea. I know Brock's number one in the trade talks, but I just got that feeling he's gonna stay. You can't let a guy like that walk and you get picks in return. Then you got Riley Smith, Stanley Cup winner for the Vegas Golden Knights, former Florida Panther. I think he is definitely gonna be coming back to Florida. I just have this hunch that Florida is gonna be not without Kachuk for a while. I gotta say Riley Smith is going to be a Florida Panther. Just trade a draft pick away. Who cares? I think Riley Smith is going to be a good rental. And, he's got 10 goals this season, but he's a UFA at the end of the year. The Rangers, they need picks in return, though. They need draft picks in return. Then you got Casey Middlestad up center. And he is, I got to say, I like him a lot. And there has to be a team that needs him. He's a $575 million cap hit for 2 more seasons, but I don't know why Colorado has to trade him. I would definitely keep him if I were Colorado because it's been tough to find a player like Nazem Kadri since he left for free agency a few seasons ago. I would definitely keep him. Then you got Trevor Zegras. Zegras has had a rough go over the last couple years with the injuries. I say trade him, get him a fresh start. And I've heard that the Ducks told me, the front office and their coaching staff have told me they do not like Zegras' arrogance and cockiness and his showboating and his millennial style of lacrosse goal, trick shots, and all that stuff. Play a two-way game. Get back to your old roots of 65, 61 points from several seasons ago. Get it together, bro. Get it together. And he got 575 million, and he's got 1 more year after that. Then you got John Gibson. He's another goaltender. That's a plan B if you don't get Jordan Binnington. And his numbers, he's got a 911 save percentage, a 276 goals against, and he's above, expect, money puck. I gotta go. I gotta say, I would probably take Gibson as a plan B if I can't get Jordan Binnington. He's got 2 years left at a 6.4 million cap hit, and he'll be 32 in July. Then you got Ryan Donato. His stock's at an all-time high, 43 points, and it's a UFA. And he could be a definite depth piece. He could be a definite depth piece for a team that is going to be on a deep playoff run. He is definitely going to get at some bridge deal or a 3 or 4 year deal. I gotta say he is definitely something to keep your eyes open to. Then you got Mario Ferraro, who's a defenseman. He's got another season with $3.25 million. He's physical and he can block shots, kills penalties. And San Jose, you're still building. I trade him. I trade him right now at this point because your goals differentials at a minus 73. It's brutal. He's only 26, and San Jose needs picks long term to build. Then you got Ramis Ristolainen. Ramis Ristolainen, 2 years left at a 6-1 cap hit. I see him definitely gone. The Flyers need to make something happen. But they're still in the playoff hunt. They are still in the playoff hunt. I would, you know, it's tough. It's like keep or don't, keep or don't, keep or don't. But I think that, let's see how Philly does for the next couple games. If it doesn't work out, I see him gone. Then you got Scott Lawn also on the Flyers, plays on the center and plays in the wing as well. And he could be a definite key piece. And I mean, you know, there was a photo that was on social media. Then he did the Last Supper, with Jesus and stuff. He's in the middle, and that's a sign that he's gone. He is definitely gone. But they were joking, they were effing with each other. But I gotta say, it's trade time. I believe Scott Lawn is gone. Then you got Brand Tanev. He is definitely a player who's grit and grind, and Seattle's not been well in the last 10 games. 4-5-1, they're past 10. They slept 9 points out of a wild card. And Ronnie Francis is going to be cleaning house, making some moves, getting some picks in return, along with Yanni Gord. And this right here for Yanni Gord, he hasn't played since January 5th to repair sports hernia. And I gotta say, he is definitely going to be on the block, and I believe he's not going to be back with the Kraken next season. Then you got Lawson Krause, the sheriff for the Utah Hockey Club. Like, he's done well with Arizona, but this season alone, he's not playing up to standards and expectations. He's a physical player, but his stats have been very dull and disappointing. He's got 2 years left at 4.3. And it could be another awkward thing. Maybe Lawson Krause is going to come back to Florida, and maybe Buki can come back down to Florida as well. One of those two. It's very interesting. And Matias Maselli, that's another guy you got to look out for. Though Utah is still in the hunt for a playoff, but I would be very cautious what you guys do. And then you got Jake Evans from the Montreal Canadiens, 1.7 mil, and he surpassed his career best, and he's very good on the penalty kill, and that's a guy you got to look out for. I think Montreal is letting him go. Then you got Carnasusi, and I think Vancouver is definitely looking for someone in return. He's a physical player. He could block shots and kill the penalty minutes. And if I was a team in the playoffs that needs defensive depth, Carnasusi's your guy. Then you got Trent Frederick. Trent Frederick, I would say he is definitely a guy I would look out for, but this season he's been a disappointment. 40 points last year, 15 this year. He's going through some operation, IR stuff, but Boston needs to get something in return. They need to get something in return so they can keep Marchand on a contract fill. So, yeah, we are seeing some very interesting activity indeed. And Friday is the trade deadline, and we're going to be broadcasting live on Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. We're going to be all over this, and we'll be doing an episode on that this Friday at 10 a.m., and it's all live. All right. Everyone, have a great rest of the day. We'll be back here tomorrow for 2 minutes in the box with Gordo.